today we're visiting with Mr. Kyle Sheldon with the Partnership Lake Houston. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And he is the Presidente.
El Presidente,
El
yes,
Presidente,
sir.
or actually the President. Kyle, thank you so much for coming on RadioKair. It's been so long. We're so happy that you finally made it. Thank you. It was very nice of you to volunteer to come.
Absolutely. Happy to be here.
Absolutely. And we're thrilled to have you. So let's start out with a little bit about Kyle Sheldon.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, right? So it's a synopsis.
Sure.
Okay. Let's go back just, a few years before you don't have to start at childhood and stuff. But
No worries. Yeah, so career-wise, I worked in oil and gas for about 15 years.
Okay.
Handful of companies here in Houston. My wife works in healthcare. She's a nurse practitioner.
Uh-huh.
And so during our fun COVID times, I got to be the one that got to stay at home with the kids.
Very
figure
good.
out how to homeschool and do all of that stuff. So I have newfound respect, obviously, for people who are home engineers and stay-at-home parents. That's
Right.
I was not called to do that. I thought I was patient until I had that privilege of doing that. And needless to say, tried to get back to work as quickly as possible. And finding the chamber job actually was just kind of a post-COVID career switch.
Really?
And it was the career change that I didn't know I needed or wanted, and couldn't be happier, to be honest. I mean, I never thought that there would be something out there like this, just getting this involved with the community and really being able to work with the businesses. This is where I grew up. So
you're from this area?
Yeah. So
fantastic.
we moved to the Kingwood area when I was like 6 years old.
Oh, my goodness.
So,
okay.
so
Yeah, you're an old-looking fella.
I am, man. And,
You've been here a long time.
Then you have kids, and
Right.
they age you even faster.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
so,
they're supposed to, right?
yeah. So
That's part of it.
that's
Yeah.
kind of been the journey. We've got kids now that are in the Humble ISD school system over at Deerwood Elementary, and just living life here and being part of the community. So super excited about.
Well, we're
what all
glad
this
you're
looks
here.
like.
Really
Thank
are.
you.
So you came. The chamber hired you.
I think so.
Or you just walked in and hid behind the desk or something.
Somewhere in between.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was what? How many years ago?
It'll be 2 years ago next April. So we're sitting at a little over a year and a half right now.
Okay, very good. Now, you did have some health problems when you first joined, and got through that. And
Actually, I didn't even find that out. That was got hired, found out towards the end of the year.
Wow.
So it was February of this year that I was diagnosed. I had
Yeah.
worked there from April until December and started having some weird stuff going on, and the diagnosis was in February.
Got you.
Yeah.
Went through the treatment, came
Yep.
out on the other side, looking good. A little shiny on top, but you're
Hey.
looking good. I mean,
Not all of us can look as good as you.
I'm getting shiny on top too. So, Lake Houston, a partnership Lake Houston, explain what that is.
Sure. So basically, a handful of years ago, they decided that they were going to merge economic development with the actual Chamber of Commerce. And so that is when they went through the rebrand. That is when they changed the name. And essentially what that now means for all of our chamber members is now they have access to economic development. And I'm not going to dive into it too much. I'll talk about it very high level, but that is, we've got somebody on staff that is like
Right.
incredible at that, and that is like her wheelhouse, her background, and I'll definitely bring her by. But basically for economic development, it's everything from retention of the businesses in the area to expanding of those businesses in the area to attracting new businesses to the area.
Opportunities.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And so we work with, the city of Houston. We work with the mayor's office. Anytime that there's somebody that wants to come to Houston, doesn't necessarily mean our specific area.
Really?
They'll reach out. And then there's this whole process that takes place of, they'll go to the different areas, talk to the chambers,
Right.
the economic development areas, and just kind of see, because each business that's wanting to come to Houston has a different reason. So we've got access and proximity to both of the airports. We've got access to the port. We've got access to rail. Like here on the northeast side of Houston, we're very well positioned.
Yeah.
And so that is
sure.
a huge draw. So we do a lot of work with the city of Humble on economic development. We do a lot of work with Generation Park, which is down closer to the Beltway.
Correct.
And really working on trying to get some like biopharma kind of stuff, and really including some life sciences back into the area, so that it's not just like shipping and manufacturing,
Right.
but we're trying to
High tech.
trying to do things to bring really good, high-paying opportunity jobs to the area.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's kind of the purpose.
Now, I've noticed over the last few years, Humble itself has exploded in distribution warehousing.
It has.
Oh my goodness, it's got to be in the millions of square foot.
Probably right.
And I assume y'all also help with some of that.
We have worked on a handful of those projects. Most of those were probably before I was around, so I don't know all the details, but that's definitely something we could find out about for you.
Gotcha. Appreciate that. So here we are at the end of 2023. And everybody is like, I don't want to say gearing down, but they're finishing up their year, right? But you guys still have at least some event or a event or something going on. So let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah, so the 14th, which I think is Thursday of this week, we still have the elected officials breakfast that we do every year. So basically we reach out to all the elected officials in the area. We try to get them into one place, have small programming, but it's really more about having an opportunity for people in the community and the chamber to be able to interface with the elected officials that represent them and be able to say thank you, be able to just kind of ask them some candid questions and just kind of have a time of mixing and mingling with those, officials. So that is 8:30 to 10 on the 14th at the Golf Club of Houston. You can register for it on our website if you're interested. It's lakehouston.org. And then the other big event that we've got coming up, it'll actually be in January, but it's for this calendar year, is the event where we give away the Citizen of the Year award.
Oh, okay.
And that is the Chairman's Ball. And so that'll be where all the new board members will get introduced. That's where we recognize the Citizen of the Year, a handful of other awards that we'll give out, thank all of the board members that roll off, and it's usually a formal kind of party and just kind of an overall good time. And that'll be on January 19th from, I think it's 6:30 to 10. And that's going to be at the Nathaniel Center, which they just renovated. If you haven't been by to see it, it's phenomenal. And the theme is going to be kind of old Hollywood. And the reason we're doing it over there is, it just already fits.
Yeah,
so there's not much we got to do. It
does have that 30s decor, I guess you call it, there. So is this a tux type deal? Where you dress up? So my cutoff jeans probably won't work. Huh?
They will look great with your tuxedo tails jacket.
Right.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Now, let's jump into 2024 right quick. Now, we're not going to ask for dates and stuff because there's a lot going on. What's some of the events that Partnership Lake Houston will have for 2024?
Yeah, so typically we'll do about 10 luncheons over the course of the year. It's usually one every month, except for we usually don't do January and we usually don't do December.
Sure. That makes sense.
Just because of chaos, right?
Absolutely.
We'll do the Chamber Classic, which is our golf tournament. It's usually in March, April. So we'll have dates and all of the stuff coming out for that here pretty quick. This will be our 33rd of those that we've done. So that's pretty exciting. We'll be at the Golf Club of Houston for that one as well. Don't have the definitive date in front of me, but we'll get that out. Then, as far as programming outside of that, we've got 4 or 5 other signature events, but majority of it is things, really geared towards the business community, whether it's networking events, the luncheons, or breakfasts. We're really trying to get in tune with like what it is that you guys want as the members of the chamber. Where can we add benefits? So we've been doing Commerce Conversations and Coffee, which is our breakfast event, and really bringing in players like SBA and SCORE and trying to help get some, assets and value that we can add and provide those resources to the smaller businesses potentially that may not know about some of those things. So we want to be very intentional with that. There'll be a lot of economic development things that are going on, and obviously with the reimagine of the downtown for Humble, we're heavily involved in that process. So whether it's something you're here local and want to get involved on a committee to select murals and that sort of thing for downtown, or if you're more interested in a different aspect of what reimagine could look like, we'd love to get people involved in that. And that's not something you have to be a member of the chamber to be able to. Yeah,
anyone can do that. I'm amazed at that the people that are not even in the downtown area.
Yeah.
Yummy Tummy and Sweet Mommy, Sweet Granny Bees, and these people are not in downtown, but they are part of the meetings. They're part of the planning. They're part of the execution. I think that's wonderful. I really do. So Reimagine Humble is it's actually, the downtown, of course, that we focus on the downtown, but it's even larger than that. It goes into all of Humble, even out past the Beltway where Humble extends out that way. And there are special programs available for businesses and so on and so forth. So, which is, people should look into that. Now, what's your website is lakehouston.org?
Correct. Yes, sir.
It sounds pretty easy to get a hold of.
It is. Yeah. And I'll touch on the Reimagine one more time real quick too, just so everybody's aware. Like, this isn't just us forming some groups. The city is fully behind it. And my chief economic development officer, her name is Stephanie Wiggins. She's a phenomenal lady. Long time spent working in the economic development world with Centerpoint. She and I will be going to Birmingham, Alabama in late January to start the retail strategies meetings and training so that we can start approaching, and they'll help us start building those relationships with specific businesses that we would like to attract to the downtown hub, because that's what it's going to take, is something where we start placing some specific anchors to start generating the foot traffic to really start getting people back down here. So there is a plan of action already in place. I know we've talked about in some of those meetings that some of the goals are 5 or 10 years out.
Absolutely.
But starting in January, we're going to start moving the needle. So, we already are, but this is specifically with the retail space.
Sure. This is very new, by the way. This has only been going on a few months.
Yep.
And I know this was in a pipeline way before that, but they have the new front on the park, on Uptown Park. My goodness, it is gorgeous.
It is.
I was totally against it.
Were you?
I was, because I thought, they're going to destroy this old look. And then when one day I walked across the street and I was standing over by the old Humble Flower Shop.
Yeah.
And I looked at it and I said, oh my gosh, this looks horrible. No, it literally looked like something out of a 1960s sci-fi movie. It had it was just this white stucco with no. Yeah, and now it is beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful. Kudos to the contractors. Kudos to the city planners. Kudos to the mayor and his group and you guys and everyone that helped put and make this happen. And, of course, we cannot forget the parking lot.
Yep.
On the corner of Avenue, it's on the northwest corner of Avenue B and Main. And folks, I want you to know, this is the first time I've ever seen this. They tore up a parking lot to put in a parking lot. But they did a phenomenal job. They really did. And it's not finished. They still have lighting to put in and some other things, but it really is going to look nice. I'm very happy for that. And then we have the farmers market that's going to be coming every quarter, I believe, for now. Yep. Once they figure out that it's going to work well, then they'll do it more often. there is so much going on in downtown, historic downtown Humble. It is absolutely amazing. The merchants have what they call it, a merchant a group that meets. And again, they're going to be putting murals up. I'm going to have one of my face.
Absolutely.
RadioKair on the side of the building. I think it's going to look good.
That has got to be why your socials
scare
doing
the kids,
so good.
but and maybe that's why I have a face for radio. But anyhow, I know I get around Kyle, and it's hard to be straight. It really is. You're an enjoyable person. So, Partnership Lake Houston has a lot going on in 2024.
We do.
And you guys are going to be very busy. LakeHouston.org is how to get to the website. So why would a business want to be a part of Partnership Lake Houston?
I think just for the opportunity to start building relationships, even just like you and I are demonstrating here, right? Just this conversation, to figure out what relationships exist, how I might be able to help you, how you might be able to help me. The biggest thing for us is to build community, help connect those dots, and really find ways to add value for businesses, no matter what the size.
Sure.
Because if it's small businesses and we can bring assets to the table and resources that you might not have been aware of, great. If it's networking that you're looking for, you're just trying to grow your business, that's a phenomenal way to do it, and we love being part of that. That's the fun part of what we do.
Sure.
But there's also the political advocacy, like are there changes in litigation and in stuff that's being pushed through even at state level or at the federal level that are going to change how you as a business have to operate. This past year, there was the issue of the sales tax on whether or not you were going to be able to charge sales tax based on where the product was being manufactured or where it was being delivered to, and who got to collect it. So we got to take part in petitioning and
y'all actually went to.
We did. We went and testified in Austin on behalf of the greater community of the Lake Houston area businesses to make sure that we were able to keep those sales tax dollars here, because that's a huge part of how even the city of Humble operates and how they fund things. So.
Yeah, a lot of people I think are not aware, but when you pay sales tax, a portion of it goes to the local municipality or taxing authority.
Correct.
And a big portion of it goes to the state of Texas. And it's used for, operating the state, right? That's part of what happens. So we have other taxes, but that's kind of that. And, it's the city. I don't know about Humble, but I know the city of Houston, out of the 8.25% tax, they get, I think, 2.25% is all they get, or maybe 2.
I don't know the percentage off the top of my
head.
It's
not a lot. It's not a lot. It takes a lot of commerce to make it all work, and commerce is the driving force for that's business. That's what chambers of commerces do. They promote business. They help make all those things happen, and that's wonderful. Anything you want to leave us with? You got a big Santa ho 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 or anything like that?
No,
it's like ho 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 ho.
I think the biggest thing for me is just I love hearing feedback from the community.
Sure.
Even if they're not engaged with the chamber, just to have the perception of what people view from the outside.
Right.
Because we want to always continue to get better. We look at everything, and everybody gives me a hard time at the office because I make the same references over and over again. I like to say, well, that's fair, because I like for things to be fair.
Sure.
And if it's an opportunity for us to get better at something, I like to use the reference of growth opportunities.
There you go.
And so they'll all laugh because I say that probably more than once a day. But anything that's a challenge, we love the opportunity to get better. So please don't be afraid to reach out to us. Like my contact information is even on the website. So feel free to reach out to me directly.
Oh, thank goodness, because I'm up at 2 in the morning.
Come on, let's go. I might respond at 2:02.
Yeah, right.
But I'll get back
What's
to you
up,
as soon as
Kyle?
possible.
It's
Yeah,
like, well, I was trying to sleep.
I got little kids. It's okay.
Yeah, right. Been there. Kyle Sheldon, president of Partnership Lake Houston. We want to thank you for coming down.
Absolutely.
What we're trying to do is get them and other local chambers to come and talk to us monthly, so that the populace, the people out in the area know what's going on. And if you're a small business owner, if you're not in a chamber, get in a chamber. It's very important. But more than that, get active. Right?
That's right.
That's how Kyle got it. He got active, and he said, "What in the heck have I done?"
That's true.
Thank you, Kyle, and
Thank you.
happy holidays to you and your family.
Likewise. Merry Christmas to
you
you.
bet.